Okay, so welcome everybody. I am super excited to welcome you here today. Every month, the RJI Innovation team has what we call a community conversation. This is just a webinar where we highlight something in one of our programs recently that we want to share with everyone that we think would be useful to journalists in their newsrooms. And this month, I'm your host. And we are going to be looking at the amazing top two projects that were a part of our Student Innovation Competition this year. So, if you are not familiar with our Student Innovation Competition, it's an annual competition where students from across the country can enter, and we have a different challenge every year. So, every year we pick something that is timely, that is needed in journalism, and we pose that challenge to students across the country. And they come up with something innovative and new, and they try it in their communities to address whatever that year's challenge is. So, this year's challenge was all about news avoidance. I'm putting a link in the chat for anyone who wants to bookmark this page. So, according to the Reuters 2024 digital news report, 4 in 10 people are avoiding the news, which, of course, we all understand things are overwhelming. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of negativity. So, we do need to find ways to reach our communities and get them the information they need. So, students address this by working in their communities and with their newsrooms to figure out what works for local to them readers and people who might be more inclined to news avoidance. So, at the link that I shared, if after this webinar you would like to go see all of the finalist teams, all the recordings are there, and you can learn more about all the great tools that were a finalist this year in our competition. But today we are going to do live demos of the top 10 for you guys today. And then you will be able to ask questions, see how it works, and talk to the students a little bit about what they created and hopefully how you can replicate or learn from these projects in your newsrooms to serve your communities. So first, I am going to hand it over to Justine and Alex from the Here Today team.
Hi everyone, my name is Justine. Alex and I are joining from different locations, so I will take us through kind of the presentation and the summary of what our product is, and then Alex and I will both be having a chat, answering any questions you have later. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So we built Here Today. Here Today is a daily news text message service that provides audiences, subscribers with interactive top stories of the day. So our goal really was to try and combat news avoidance by dealing with news overwhelm. We did a survey of, we're both at we're at Columbia Journalism School. Alex is still there, I've just graduated. And we did a survey of our cohort, who are some of the most engaged news enthusiasts, and even so many of them felt completely overwhelmed by the volume of news, by the length of stories. And so really we were trying to figure out how can we deliver daily news to people in a way that helps eliminate that overwhelm by giving them just 3 stories they need to know. So each morning we sent our beta test subscribers 3 curated headlines to their phone, plus a personalized weather update based on their location. And our goal was to sift through the noise to bring the most important stories to our subscribers so that they could start their day well informed. And the text messages were actually interactive. So our audience got a text message with the 3 stories. They could then reply to it to get more information on those stories. So they could hit 1 to get more information on the first story, or 2 or 3. I'll show you guys this in the demo. And they would get a response with more information on those stories. So it really allowed them to kind of interact with the news on their terms and where they were on that day. So just wanted to briefly take you through the back end of the tool. And just for context, so my background is in editorial, so I was really focusing on the content side of the product. Alex Clavens is a tech genius. He's a senior software engineer at the New York Times, also an editorial genius doing his master's at Columbia Journalism School. Overall, very impressive human. And so he can probably answer more questions about the technical aspect of this better than I can. But on the back end, The tool is basically comprised of three elements. So there was a content management system. That was what housed all of the content for every day's, we called them text letters, like text newsletters. So the stories, the like initial headline people received, and then the URL they would receive if they wanted more information on the story, the longer summary they would receive if they wanted more information on the story. So that was one part of it. The second was the custom application that we built, and that allowed the content management system, it allowed it to pull the content from the content management system and deliver it to people through the text messages and then interact with people through the text messages. And then we had to have a text messaging system. Our goal initially was to use SMS because we want it to be as widely accessible as possible and as low tech as possible. We discovered in our kind of trial by fire of, oh, sorry, am I still, sorry, have I frozen?
We're on the back end slide.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yep.
No, that's good. So on the text messaging, we wanted originally to use SMS because we wanted to be as accessible as possible. But yeah, we had like a trial by fire building this in like 5 months. And so we discovered that there was a lot of regulatory complications to using SMS, particularly given that we weren't registered as a company yet. And those exist for very good reasons because you don't want people to get a ton of spam sent to them all the time. So we ended up pivoting to WhatsApp for the purpose of our beta testing. And that really allowed us to test the product in a much like easier, lower regulatory environment, though that posed its own challenges in that messages would just get randomly blocked on certain days by WhatsApp. So some people wouldn't receive a message, even though maybe they'd received it the day before. Very frustrating. So we are ultimately switching back to SMS, and we've kind of been troubleshooting that process now. So in terms of like how the three elements interact with each other, so there's on the left the newsletter, this is like the text letter content management system. So you could imagine it kind of like building blocks with the name of the newsletter. It has the introductory like text already coded in. It'll pull a story. Each story has a headline, a URL, and an expanded story. And then our app will pull the relevant information and use that to build and publish the messages. And if someone texts something like 1, 2, or 3, the app will go back to the content management system and pull what information it needs to be able to write the response text to the user. So that's kind of a very rudimentary explanation of how our product works. Again, Alex will be able to explain this probably better than I can. So I will take you through a demonstration of how our product works. So 1 second while I figure this out. Share. Okay, so I'm going to play this and talk through it. So hopefully you can all see this. This is our website that we built. This is a basic website that allowed people to subscribe through the platform. This is not currently active to be clear. If you subscribe currently, we kind of ran this as a set beta testing period because we wanted to test all the features of the product. But you basically see someone signing up. They will then get a message asking them to verify their subscription. And then they could text latest to receive the most recent text letter. So the app, this is all automated. So the app has to think for a little bit. It's sending the latest newsletter. It thinks and thinks and thinks. And then it sends the initial text letter. So it has good morning. It has the weather personalized to the person's postcode using an API. It has the 3 stories that we have deemed the stories for the day. And then the person can reply 1, 2, or 3 to read more. Something worth noting is that we create and write the little summaries of the stories. So this is like a little summary we've written about the story, and then it comes with a link to the content, to the local news publication. We really wanted to prioritize local news publications and use this as a way for local news to help grow and direct audiences to local news organizations. So they can go back, the subscriber to the WhatsApp, they can reply 1 if they want to get more about that story, and then again, click the URL to read the full story. And that is here today.
Great. Thank you so much. Alex, did you want to add anything?
Um, Justine really hit all the bases. I think that we'd love to answer any questions that folks have about this. Um, I guess one thing we can touch on now is that we are still working on here today. And our intention is to basically, we had our beta that was in our community, and we plan on launching it as a more fully featured newsletter in New York City at some point later this year or early next year. We intend to work with local newsrooms, primarily ones that we are putting out, like a lot of nonprofit news organizations, or newsrooms that are just like struggling to reach audiences. Um, Part of what our value add is to people is um, that it can be hard to keep up with all the amazing local news organizations, particularly in a place like New York City, which actually does have a thriving community of local news organizations, but you know, can't read them all. Um, so our main focus will be New York City. It's going to be Here Today, New York. I think that there's a future in which we could expand beyond that. But for now, like we're really still proving out the concept. We did find, honestly, kind of to my surprise, that like people like receiving news in a text message. It felt short, concise. Um, and in terms of, excuse me, in terms of us having runway to do this, we applied for and received a grant from Columbia's Brown Institute for Media Innovation. And so that will allow us to continue to fund the R&D for the project and give us some runway to start working with local publications to kind of see where we can take this thing. I see there are some questions in the chat. Uh,
Yeah. So why don't we start with one question is, how are you going about choosing newsrooms? So are you telling newsrooms that they're a part of this? Are you gonna give them some proceeds? What is that relationship like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So at least so far, this has been us, uh, at least during our beta test for this, we were pulling content from local news organizations that publish their content online for free. We didn't want to be giving anyone links to sites that they would hit a paywall for. Um, but again, that was really just for our beta tests. And our intention is to form partnerships with news organizations, ones that we've seen produce high quality journalism that isn't necessarily happening anywhere else. And so we've already begun to talk to New York City based newsrooms, and we found that there's a lot of interest in this. These organizations are always looking to grow their audience. Um, yeah,
Okay. Another question. Have you thought about a monetization strategy? So long, I know you have a grant now, which is amazing, by the way, congrats. But in the future, like if you want to keep doing this, have you thought about, are you gonna, charge people $5 a month, or have you thought about how you're gonna monetize it long term if you decide to continue it?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And I think that's part of us getting some runway is figuring like us having some time to figure that out. Justine and I are also, as part of our grant, we're attending a summer entrepreneurship boot camp at Columbia. That's sort of I think it's a partnership between the journalism school and the business school, maybe. Though that might be misinformation. I don't quite remember.
No,
Um,
that's pretty good. Also, sorry, I think my video is just like I did that screen share. Can you see me at all, by the way?
We cannot see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, we'll take it. I think the screen share just zonked out my computer. I think it's a Brown Institute run program, just to clarify, Clavens.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. And so I think we're thinking about stuff that's both on the kind of consumer side and the business side. So there is potentially a world where this is a subscription, but part of the intention with all of this is for it to be as low tech as possible. And ultimately, a subscription means subscribing, putting in your credit card info, probably doing something that's more than just like putting in your phone number. And so maybe that works, but maybe we find other ways to fund this. Um, One potential option is basically like us like selling our space, as in we only have so much room in this text message. What news organizations want to use our platform to get their stuff out there? We're really not sure. I think we're going to explore with these newsrooms that we've already begun talking to, what they're interested in, what's worked for them, and what might work for us. At a minimum, we don't want to lose money. So that's part of what the grant is for, is to be able to actually run this thing, because there are operational expenses. And also it's nice to not work for free. So paying ourselves a little bit to be able to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there is so another question. Could you see yourselves going back to an SMS delivery model, given that in NYC there are a lot of people who still use basic flip phones? I think you guys said you are currently transitioning back to SMS. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's absolutely our intention. I think the WhatsApp thing is interesting because there are a lot of people who use WhatsApp, but our original intention and our current intention is to move back to SMS. Part of what we're planning on doing is making this a registered business, which allows us to have a little bit more regulatory leeway in terms of sending messages via SMS. Now, there still is the point of like, how do you get people to sign up? And we'd probably maybe try to offer like a purely SMS way of signing up instead of just the website that Justine demoed, because that could again make it like totally flip phone friendly or as low tech as possible. But to us, we see that as the most universal
Mhm.
delivery model at the moment.
Okay. And I think there are a couple of people in the chat who don't live in New York but would be interested in this. So it might also be great for you guys to think about once you've built this and it works, setting it up, not running it, but helping set it up for people who want to host it in other states. And that's another sort of monetization strategy for you guys. You could help people set up their own SMS systems with what you built. So. I think I know a ton of newsrooms who are looking for a really good SMS system. So I think you guys are in a great niche
Yeah,
place
absolutely.
that a lot of people are interested in.
And I think something else is that there are a lot of services out there that offer text message delivery. I don't know if they're like particularly catered to newsrooms. I think where ours stands out is the interactivity, the idea of a content management system that clearly maps individual stories to responses that people can send and having that all be automated. Um, Part of it also is though like figuring out meeting people where they are and not necessarily like forcing a whole new content management concept onto people. So perhaps making this more API driven or things like that. But what I think we're not in any rush, but we really want to, one, like strengthen the underlying technology, which worked well for our beta. But first, as we were mentioning, we need to move over to SMS itself, but we also need to make sure that this can scale, because for our beta, we had a smaller number of subscribers, but there's a chance that as we partner with newsrooms throughout New York, we could quickly increase that number, hopefully to thousands of people, maybe even tens of thousands, who knows? Um, but that has underlying technological considerations that we'll need to take into account with our app to be able to reliably get people a text message every day.
All right.
Um, if I could just, sorry, I know I'm like a
Yes, go
gray
ahead.
box right now. Just to add to what Cleven said, I think like like our, as he said before, like our goal currently is to take stock, learn, and just explore, like use this time as runway to explore, like how can we monetize this in a way that feels sustainable while also staying true to like what we see as the community mission of this product, which is to help local newsrooms build that audience in new ways, and helping like connect people with the news in this new way. And so yeah, we're just trying to figure out what the best step forward would be. But I think something that we always want to stress is like we are always open to conversations. We've been chatting with a number of local newsrooms in New York, and if you're on this call and you're not from New York but you still would like to have a conversation, we'd be really interested, because even if we aren't currently in a place where this is like, you can download this app and use it in your newsroom immediately. Those conversations help us figure out what those next steps are and see like like organic partnerships would be between newsrooms and a product like this going forward. So yeah, we're always open to chatting, and we've had some great conversations here in New York so far. And I saw in the chat someone upstate New York is close to New York City. So yeah, we'll definitely also be looking there in terms of partnerships. So please do reach out. We can pop our contact details in the chat if that helps.
Great. Thanks so much, guys. So I'm gonna pass it over to Team Flipop now. But if anyone else has any other questions for Team here today, definitely throw them in the chat. I will also email everybody the links to both of these projects and the contact info for the teams if you guys would like to talk to them more after the webinar. So Team Flipop, take it away.
Sure, just give me a second to share my screen. Oh, sorry. Whoa, so we're Team Flipop, and we're all students from University of Southern California in Los Angeles. And today we're going to give you a brief introduction of our product, how we built this product, and our next steps. So first, a quick introduction of our team. My name is Shen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of this product. And I basically manage the whole product lifecycle of Flipop.
Hi, I'm Yang Lu. I'm the co-founder and CTO. I'm basically responsible for front-end and back-end development for this project.
Hi everyone, I'm Leah and I'm the CPO, and I basically manage focusing on the product management part and product marketing. And we can move on to like a quick introduction about our product. So this is a AI-powered news summarizer for students and professionals, mainly to stay on top of high-quality news in just seconds. Our product is designed to tackle information overload, which is like the overwhelming feeling brought by the sheer volume of news we're expected to keep up with every day. And we solve this problem by putting readers in complete control of their news. Mainly, our users can select keywords of topics they like, and we will deliver flashcard-style summaries with the link to original news stories to ensure that users can stay informed with context, credibility, and control. And we have launched our MVP in partnership with USC's Annenberg Media, which is like a campus media, and we have already have a lot of like initial users, and we are excited to share our product with you today and see how we can expand the users outside of the USC community and connect our product to other news sources or like online content like newsletters and blogs. And before our like a live demo, we'll quickly introduce our product framework. So the entire experience is built on a 3D framework, which is called Discover, Digest, and Debrief. In the Discover part, we can allow users to actively select keywords to filter the noise and explore the topics the users are generally interested. And then in the digest part is like after you select the keywords, we're able to give you some flashcard like summaries of the news that's related to the topic. And then finally, in the debrief part, this is where we give user a data-driven personal dashboard to help users track and understand their own reading habits and empower them to become a more mindful and informed individual. And then we'll go to a quick live demo. Sorry, Shasha, I can't see your screen.
Okay. What about now?
Okay, yeah, it works now. So if you're typing like flipopapp.com, this is like our website. And first, you just imagine you're like a USC student, you want to catch up on campus news. If you scroll down to like our news media's website, there's like a list of news, and probably you will not be sure about like what news you want to read, what you want to choose. You have to scroll down a little bit to find the topic you're interested in. But within the interface we can see right now, you can just click on whatever you want, like a few bubbles, as many as you want. And these are like the keywords, a few keywords relevant to the USC community, and then you click on them, and then it would lead you to a page that says like creating your flashcards. And in this point, this is how our AI gets to work. We're not like scrolling through an endless, distracting feed. We are generating like these clean, organized flashcards. And let's take a look at like one of these flashcards. Like each one of the flashcard will give you a really concise AI-powered summary. It is mainly like 2 to 3 bullet points to allow you to quickly grasp the key points of the news that you are reading. And you can like easily swipe up, swipe down, just like Shen just did. And we designed this to be digestible to reduce the cognitive load of our users. And we also try to use really clear and readable fonts and formats to ensure that our product is accessible for users with different needs. And now let's say this flashcard about like cultural preservation, where we really interested in the full story and want to learn more about like the background story of this. If we click on the View Sources tab, we'll be able to see like a list of different news articles that are written by journalists at USC, and they will be able to like click on the link and be taken to the source directly. Yeah, so this is like the newsroom's website, and this is like the article that the journalists have written. And we go back to the page, we click on the arrow on the top, we're back to the flashcards page. So this is like our main user flow. It is mainly to create a personalized personalized like reading experience. And then if we click on like sign up button on the top corner, we're also are we signing right now? Yeah, we can sign in right now. So if you register, you'll be if you're a registered user, you'll be able to access this. And if you click on the right button, you'll be able to see like a data-driven weekly reading report of how many articles you have read, like the flashcards you have read, and some other interesting insights, like what is your total reading time? What is your daily reading time? Do you often read on your phone or on the laptop, that kind of stuff, and just helps you to track and reflect on your reading habits over time. And also it helps with user retention. So to recap, the main user experience is just select the topics you're interested in, and you can get instant digestible flashcard summaries, and then you can access the original source with one click if you want. And also, if you are a registered user, you can get a personalized report to understand your own reading patterns. So that would be about it for the live demo. And then we have a few comments on our initial results.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. So for this part, we just want to show like how we decided our features, and basically it's a data-driven process. We built our whole product based on like many interviews, survey responses, and industry experts' opinions. And as you can see, we have strong appeal towards our product, and the features we have selected are those people are really interested in. And we really focus on diversity and accessibility to make sure our product is accessible to a larger population. So there's no black box algorithm to confine our users in information bubble. And that's also, I think, one important thing when it comes to news and journalism. And the second thing is we value high quality and credible sources. So we want to make sure our readers consume high quality and accurate information. that's also like how we are going to choose our partners in terms of their quality of their news. And this is some outcome and success metrics. So we have already gained 4,000 site visits and over like 420 active users. So I think we got a very positive feedback from them. So first is high willingness to pay. So imagine if you adopt our product in your like on your platform. So many people are willing to pay for this feature. And the second thing is the qualitative feedback. We got a 4.5 out of 5 user satisfaction score by 10 testing participants selected out of 90 signups, and 80 participants said they would use weekly. So this like demonstrates like a very high willingness to use our product and also pay for the product. So these are some readers' feedback. You can read their quotes here. Many people say it's concise. It highlights what matters. It makes like reading very efficient and keeps them motivated. Also about the UX UI, they really love the clean design and the process is very intuitive. So as for our next steps, first, many people like requested a mobile version because we also think mobile app is more aligned with the use case because right now people consume news on like their mobile phone and it's more convenient for them to check the news and stay informed really quick. And the second one is the balance between fearing of missing out and information overload. So right now we have 7 keywords and some users said, I sometimes felt like skeptical about how you curated a news and if like I can, if like I'm like, maybe I'm not sure about if you have covered all the news, and we will be like, we will ask them like how many keywords they want, and many of them suggested like 10 to 12 primary keywords. So we will adjust this later, and we will add like a refresh option to always refresh the keywords until you think, okay, you're satisfied with what you have consumed. And the third part is user control. So we will allow users to customize their time ranges. For example, you want to consume news in the past 24 hours, or you haven't checked the website for a while and you want to stay informed with the news in the past week. We also allow users to customize their dashboards if they want to see their engagement time, their trend of reading news, or the top 3 topics or genres or industries they're interested in, and also a dark mode. So we will also introduce topic interest map. This is like an algorithm-driven feature where we collect user data and trying to come up with the user persona, so we get to know the users more and enhance the personalization when we push like show them the keywords and the flashcard summaries. Also the keyword refresh option, like I just mentioned, so users can keep refreshing the keywords and the flashcards until they're satisfied with the content. And the last one is an LLM-powered search feature for smart topic exploration. So we will try to allow users to type the prompt if like they have a certain thing they're interested in or they would like to explore. Even though this requires a lot of work, but we do have it in the future implementation and in our roadmap. And yeah, basically that's all. And if you're interested, just feel free to reach out to us. And we will open the door for some questions.
Great. So one question I have here is, you're currently working with one newsroom. Have you thought about expanding to others? And is your tool able to be integrated into different CMSs?
Yes, definitely. As long as I think we have the API to the newsroom's the content management system, we can connect to their CMS and make it like a built-in feature for their website if they like think this is a like good option.
Okay. And is it currently what CMS are you currently working with? Is the USC newsroom on WordPress or?
Right now we are still working on connecting to their CMS. Yes, the partner is USC Network Media, And we already have their token and like everything authentication, but we still need time to connect to their CMS because their response is a little bit slow. Like their system is a little bit like complicated to navigate, and so we may need some time, but we're working on this. And I think it shouldn't be a problem if we connect this product to our partners, a content management system.
Okay. And this person, the same question as they had for here today. Have you thought about monetization and how you'll continue doing this work? I think I saw on one of your slides you said you're currently testing $5 a month.
Oh yeah, that's like a high willingness to pay. So many people, I think this is like a benchmark for most news products, like like New York Times or Wall Street Journal is basically like $1 a week. So I think $5 is like very fair. And as for other monetization strategies, we also plan to get like non-intrusive advertisements, like for example, sponsor content on the flashcard, and also the like if we're going to have the mobile app, we will have like opening screen ads. So basically when you open the app, there will be like a screen of like advertisements for a few seconds, and then it's the content. So going back to the subscription, I think they can pay for the premium features such as like search bar or unlock like more flashcards. For example, they can read like 3 to 4 flashcards, and if they want to read more flashcards or like refresh the keywords all the time, they can pay for these premium features.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question I have here. For newsrooms who are using your plugin, do they get a dispatch on the results and how many people are using it?
Can you elaborate like what does like dispatch mean
So
or
I think she means is if a newsroom were to pay you to install your plugin, and people were using it to access their stories, would the newsroom get like results in an email, or how would they be able to see what people are using it and how they're interacting with it?
Sure. So right now we have set up like Google Analytics. That's how we also get our data of like site visits, active users, user retention, user engagement. So I think they can continue to use Google Analytics, or I think this is very easy to like maintain. Like even when you adopt our product, you can easily just log in and see like all the data. Or if you have your own database, your own data science team, I think that we can also incorporate this product to your database, basically user data and also the CMS and everything. They're all like databases. We can connect our product to those databases. And we can just, right now we make it a standalone website, but in the future, if our partner decide to try this product, we can remove like the brand as like Flipop, just make it a built-in feature. So I think it shouldn't be a problem.
All right, great. Any
Yeah.
other questions for Flipop? If you have them, throw them in the chat, or if you want to speak, you can raise your hand and I can allow you to talk.
And just feel free to jump in if my teammates have more things to say.
Oh, yes, of course. Go for it.
No? Okay, maybe Leah, I thought you unmuted yourself.
No, I'm good. You're doing a pretty good job.
Okay.
She's speaking well for all of you. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions at this time, Thank you everyone for coming. It was great to get to share these projects with you. I will send out the recording, links to these projects, to the presentations, and information on how you can reach these students. If you are interested in talking to them more about their products or how to learn from them or how to replicate them, I'm sure they'd love to talk to you. So congrats to our top 2 teams. You guys are doing amazing work. I hope you keep in touch and keep telling us how your products are coming along. And we are so excited to see where both of these go next. So have a great week, everybody, and you will get an email from me really soon. Thank you to all the students for coming. Just so impressed with your work. This was a great year.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
stopping
you.
by.